Hi and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Emily and I make videos about minimalism, motherhood and Montessori. Today I want to talk to you about toy rotation. The concept of toy rotation essentially means that you have a small amount of toys available to your children at a certain time and the rest are stored away. And then every week, every 2 weeks, every month, however, you swap out those toys and replace them with fresh ones. So I want to show you how I approach toy rotation and the parts that I think are most key to making it successful in engaging your kids in purposeful independent play for longer. The purpose of toy rotation is that it holds your children's interest and allows them to engage in purposeful play. It also means that you are able to have a very small amount of toys available at one time, which is shown to increase focus. Having a lot of toys out at once doesn't actually make for more purposeful, independent play. In contrast, kids often get overwhelmed and you'll find you just have a huge mess and kids whining because they're bored. So when I'm approaching a toy rotation, the first thing I need to do is observe. Are there toys on the shelf that are still holding the kids' interest? An example would be this. This is a Magnetab. We have this alphabet one and then we also have the free play one. These are the kids' current obsession. So rather than removing them just for the sake of doing a toy rotation, I'm going to make sure that the items that the kids are still actively engaged with stay on the shelf and allow them to master whatever skill they are working on. For Violet, that's all about tracing the letters on this one and then free writing the letters on the other one. And for Freddie, these are a way for him to work on his fine motor skills by poking all the little metal dots back into their holes, and that keeps him occupied for a really long time. So I'm definitely not going to take these away just yet. In contrast, this Fat Brain Toys Innie Bin, that's what it's called, has sat on the shelf and not been touched for a week. So for now, I think this one can take a holiday and we'll bring it out again in a few weeks or a month and it will be like it's a new toy again. So with all that in mind, I'm going to show you what I'm taking off the shelf, what I'm leaving on, pick out some things that I think are going to speak to the kids' current interests and sensitive periods. The Magnetab is staying out, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm actually going to put the musical instruments away for a little while, primarily because Freddie has taken to just finding the cymbals and essentially just crashing them repeatedly as loudly as he can. And while that's meeting a need for him right now, the rest of the family does need a little break from that. The Montessori Medic kit, that has been a hit for a while, but Violet hasn't opened it this week, so I'm going to put that away for a while as well. The Totley box, Freddie is very much in the containment schema right now, so all about posting and containment, so this one is going to be staying. Along the same lines, this little container, this has got a couple of the Totley box scarves that I'm going to put away because they don't get played with. That Reese made has just been added to the shelf because it was returned to us from my sister who borrowed it for her little boy. I'm going to put this on the shelf and then I'm going to probably take out the nins, rings and coins to create another opportunity for him to work on that containment schema, that posting activity. Basket of animals. Yeah, for some reason, Freddie has played a little bit with this over the last few weeks, but again, it's not what they're choosing right now. Duplo. So the Duplo does get quite a lot of play, but I'm actually going to switch this out for the train tracks, just so that we have a bit of variation in our open-ended toys. However, I'm not going to put this in the cupboard. I'm going to make this available to the kids in the playroom so that they can still access it when they want to play. Our Love Every blocks have been out since Freddie's birthday, which is almost 2 months now, and I'm finding that the play with him has gotten a little bit more superficial. So Violet will take out the strings, she might thread like one block and then she gets tired of it and wanders off. So again, it's time for this one to have a little bit of a break and then it will be more exciting the next time it comes out. I'm going to leave the tiles out. I contemplated swapping them out for a block set, but in reality they do get ongoing play, and I think if I bring out a few other options, there will be more opportunities for the tiles to be mixed in to make different activities with these new toys. What I'm going to do is move the tile basket to the other end of the shelf, as sometimes just switching up the position of the toys is enough to reignite that interest. Right, top shelf, we've got the nins, rings and coins in the Mod Play Kids holder. These are great for posting activities, but because it's a really open-ended item, Violet will play with it too. The nins will get used in all sorts of imaginary play, as well as the more fine motor stuff that Freddie will do. Here's our little posting box. As you can see, the nins and then the circles fit in as well. We also have this is a more basic Montessori material, taking the pegs out and then fitting them back in. I've observed him doing an activity similar to this at his physio appointments. So he's probably about ready to try this. This one uses a pincer grip. Then our Magnetab, the free play one that I've been talking about, and our alphabet one. We have chameleon readed, no, that's not a verb, but we made it one. This one so that when she has the chameleon pen file, it can touch the stickers and hear the phonetic sound of each letter. So we don't say ABC, we are teaching at, but k, so that she's aware of the sounds of each letter. Bottom shelf, we have kept the tiles at. The Totley box, which is an ongoing favourite of Freddie's. I've moved some books up here. This is just an IKEA plate rack, which is a really good way to store books so that they're accessible for little ones. These are all board books, so completely Freddie proof, but I'm finding that he's not getting as much sort of incidental reading as Violet did it at his age, partially because the books are downstairs in their rooms in the playroom, and they're often playing down there, but I'm not probably spending as much intentional time there with them. So I think by putting some books here, that might encourage a little bit more engagement with the books for him and then between him and I. And then over here we have got our Brio. Okay, so now it's time for my least favourite part of the toy rotation process, which is fitting all of this into here. And don't be fooled, that's not an empty spot. That basket's out there because I was pulling stuff out of it.
Flying low under the radar, like a nighthawk stealth plane.
Alright, that wasn't terrible. Still looks pretty neat. Yeah, so far so good. We'll see how the kids react to the new toy rotation. And yeah, we're just not going to talk about the maintenance of this space. Let's just close the door, shall we? No one needs to see that. So let's recap the steps to a successful toy rotation. Number 1, observe. What is your child playing with and what developmental needs are they trying to meet? Number 2, cull. Get rid of anything that is outgrown or broken, and the rest need to be packed away in a place that your child cannot access. Keep out the toys that they are continuing to play with. Number 3, add. Choose a few new items that will engage your kids' current interests and abilities. Less is more. You do not have to have a whole heap of stuff out at once. And finally, arrange. Display the toys in a way that attracts the child's interest and engagement. It's much better to have a few things laid out carefully on a shelf or even on the floor than it is to have a toy box or bin that is going to just be dumped out. I'd love to hear if toy rotation is something you use in your house to keep your kids engaged. Drop a comment below and follow for more. See you next time.
Like a nighthawk stealth plane, you are